All right. Let me go here. Post this up top. Michael Woods. Um,
Yo, like we're live right now.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about this, man.
All right, and then let me put the link on the YouTube comments. Actually, you know what? Hold on. If I copy comments, paste. Okay, that should be good from there. And then anybody want to come in, they can come in.
Wherever.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Boxing Rush Hour show. Friday afternoon, rush hour in the East
Super
Coast.
rush hour.
Man, oh man, Zach, what is the deal? I know you got caught up in some traffic earlier, so we got a little later than normal, but what's good with
Weather
you?
is wild. The weather is wild. Weather's been crazy. Traffic is crazy. But talking about weather, the weather in boxing is vicious right now.
Yeah, it's hurricane season in boxing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
It's wild. And listen, before we go into the show, if anybody wants to call in, the link is on the YouTube comments box. Just hit that. We'll bring you in. You don't have to show your video. You want to just hit up on a topic that we're discussing, or if you want to do your own topic and you want to throw something in and just want us to talk about it, we could do that too. So yeah, the link is on the YouTube stream, AG Boxing. AG Boxing on YouTube. If you want to go, hit the subscribe button, like button, and in the comment section, the link to the stream is up, so that if you want to call in at any point, we'll get you into the show. You can holler at Zach, and you can do all that. All right. Before we go into anything else, again, just want to shout you out, Zach. Let them know if they want you to get into the ring with one of their with one of their contenders. How do they get at you?
All you gotta do is hit up Abe. You can hit up Abe, or you can contact me. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to contact me, but you can hit up Abe. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You can try to shoot me a message on Twitter if anything like that. And yeah, man, I'm available at 135, 140. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready for all comers. Keep myself in shape, and yeah, I look
All
forward
right,
to it.
that's what's up, man. All right, let's do it. If you hit me up, I will definitely pass on the information to Zach and get that to him. All right. Damn, where do we start? Let's you know what? Let's start with the I'm gonna start with something small as people start coming into the room so that we can get into the juicier stuff a little later.
Go ahead.
Um Netflix was recently announced that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is gonna get like a 3-part series, like an all access, but on the Netflix version of it, starting on November 7th. The first 2 episodes will drop, and then on November 12th, 3 days before the fight, the last episode will drop.
Okay.
Now, it's not going to have traditional boxing guys doing it. And Netflix hasn't really done a whole lot of boxing reality type of stuff other than the Tyson Fury stuff. The Tyson Fury show that came out was last year. What do you expect? Are you expecting anything different from them because of it? Like they're not conditioned to, or or their brain is not working in the sense where they feel like they're in a hamster wheel and doing the same stuff, and they're coming in with a fresh mind. Are you expecting something like completely different, or do you see them just kind of going with what they've seen
You know,
before on how these things go?
You know what I think? I think a lot of these networks and a lot of these companies, they're gonna look at other people's documentaries and all that stuff. They're gonna look at 24/7s. They're gonna look at the all accesses. They're gonna look at a lot of these things, and then they're gonna put their own spin on it, their own fresh new feel on it. Or they might just divert and just go straight into doing something completely different. Who knows? As far as the fight being for boxing, it's not really for the mainstream of boxing, but it is for the public outside of boxing and the people who don't know boxing, which is good. So those kids and those people that are gonna watch Jake Paul fight a Mike Tyson and stuff like that, this is good for them, and this is a perfect opportunity for Netflix to really put a spin on how they want to do stuff when it comes to just sports. But boxing is a different sport from anything. So this is gonna be real interesting. I'm excited for it.
Okay, and I think that even with them, kind of like doing this for the first time, I feel like Netflix is all in at this point, and they are going to make this into everything. So I would not be surprised about anything that surprises me, if that makes sense, right? Like,
I mean,
uh,
that wouldn't surprise me either.
I think that they're gonna go all out and they're gonna make it into everything. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. Let's see. Did you see the latest version of Oscar De La Hoya's Clapback
I did.
Thursdays?
I didn't get to see that one, but I did hear that something had to do with P Diddy Baby Oil. I don't know,
Oh
man.
my gosh! So
I don't know.
let me tell you. First of all, he's stepped up the production of it. So now
Really?
he's got like virtual like hand clapping emojis like on it, and then he's got like kid like clapping sounds in the back, and he has like little skits in between. So it's becoming like a whole production.
I mean, I hope it stays original like the way he's been doing it, which is pretty cool. But hey, if that's what he's trying to do with it, cool. Good for
yeah.
Oscar.
Now he was talking about he was talking about Shane Mosley Sr. And so he's fighting like some celebrity match or whatever, like in Philadelphia. And in the promo that Shane Mosley Sr. was doing for it, like he was super oiled up, like super glossy. Pause. Like it was crazy, and I was like, I like he was almost you couldn't even recognize him. So they showed a quick clip, and then Oscar just like went in. He was like, "Yo, like, did you use like Diddy's oil or something? Because he just looked
Yeah, but
extra
you got to
shiny."
remember
Pause.
something. You got to remember something why. Yeah, you got to remember something why Oscar is saying that is because
Yeah.
recent interviews, Shane Mosley has mentioned Oscar's name in not a positive way. So you can't expect, Oscar De La Hoya to not get back, especially at the time of his life right now. He's clapping back at everybody. So don't expect him to be quiet. You understand? So, but the thing is that bothers me is, man, a lot of these guys have done business together and everything. I get business does turn bad and stuff, but you don't have to put every person down in an interview with whatever opportunity you can get to put that person down. Because if you're not doing even better than that person or something, that person's gonna wind up, you know, coming back at you and it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's sad because at one point, they were all doing business together, and then now we've gotten to this point. So I don't know. All right, listen.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We're gonna go into the definitely the spicy part. So Devin Haney, it was announced today that he filed a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia in New York for
Oh,
battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment. That's all lawyer language stuff. But in a nutshell, he's basically saying that that he was at a extreme disadvantage, and this is kind of like a that he should be compensated in a legal way because of what happened and what was found in Ryan Garcia's system. What do you make of all of this? And is this something that we're gonna? I guess in looking back, are fighters that fought against others that were on PEDs that might have lost, are we gonna see them now go back and do like retro lawsuits, against these guys that they fought that fought with PEDs? Like, is this going to be the start of a trend? I guess is what I'm getting at. And do you agree with how he's going about it with taking it to court?
Well, first, when you said Devin Haney was going to file a lawsuit, I thought you was going to say Devin Haney was filing a lawsuit on Eddie Hearn for not getting him good tickets. Um, that's what I thought. We complain about tickets, man. We millionaires.
No
We
shit.
millionaires. Um, I think personally, if Devin Haney's team feels that way, and him feels that way about suing Ryan Garcia and taking him to court, I don't disagree with it. The reason why I don't disagree with it is because you cheated. You cheated. So you cheating, you should get all the punishment you deserve and deal with it and take it like a man. Will I think anybody will come out of nowhere and say, "Hey, no, I can't even say this." Um, Matter of fact, yeah, that De La Hoya could say, "Hey, when I fought Shane Mosley or anything like that. What was it? What was he on something? Anything? Do I think somebody's gonna come out of the woodworks and start trying to sue? I think a few guys. I think a few guys are gonna come out and say, "Hey, um, this guy, maybe Callum Smith comes, not Callum Smith, yeah, comes out and says, hey, maybe Canelo was on something. Who knows, right? Just example. But a lot of guys are gonna fail with these lawsuits because they're not recent. They're gonna have to go do paperwork and everything. They're gonna do a lot of stuff, and you need evidence. Now, upcoming future, because there's still gonna be people popping for PDs. Watch, you'll see even more. Shout out to Vada, who does a great job with testing for the fights. Amazing people. Um, you're gonna see that, and I agree with it all the way. Because guess what? What if, what if Ryan Garcia wasn't taking anything? Everybody says, "Oh, but you still can't dodge the hook. Still can't dodge the hook, and you still can't." Well, if you get hit with the hook the first time, that was with complete viciousness because of the steroid use. Guess what? Them other hooks, you're not really. It messes up your whole game plan. Like PEDs is not right. And for all the fighters that are gonna start giving lawsuits to people who they fight with that have been on PEDs, I agree with it. You know, don't be a punk with it. Like, just do it under closed doors. Do it, get that settled. You don't have to make everything what is it, a publicity stunt. Do it the right way if you feel entitled to that. And if Devin Haney's doing that, then shout out to him and his team for doing that. But guess what? Time to get your butt in the ring and put in work.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm gonna read off something where his dad kind of added to it. He was saying that Devin is the face of boxing because he has challenged the franchise in many ways by working with multiple promoters, by crossing the sides of the street, and now he's challenging PED use. This is all for the good of the sport. Um, I mean, I do agree that something should be done in excess, right? But to your point, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to make an example by him doing it very public like that. Um, I don't. It'll be interesting to see how New York handles this. The
It's gonna
state
be
of New
real
York.
interesting because guess what? New York is vicious when it comes to these things. Remember what happened with the guy with the jaw? His jaw was hurting in the corner in the fight, the heavyweight. There's a lot of stuff. New York is big time when it comes to that. So I don't think New York is gonna play soft with this one as well. Because
Yeah,
Devin Haney's coming as well. He's got a good team of lawyers, I'm sure.
and not only that, but the mayor's under investigation in New York, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so,
I
you
don't know.
know, I think that anybody, any situation like that is going to be under like scrutiny, and they can't mess it up. So they're going to give it its due diligence to make sure that they cover their tracks. And believe it or not, because this is going to be probably more like district attorney type stuff, you know, the New York State Athletic Commission is going to have some hard questions to answer as well.
Yeah, this is big time. Are they testing these fighters? Are they taking these fighters that use PEDs in accountability for their actions? Are they? Are they fining? Are they going to suspend? What are they going to do? How are they going to punish these fighters that take PEDs? It's a very important thing. No matter what and who they are, I don't want favoritism. I don't want the superstar. I don't want the guy, let's say Ryan Garcia, uh, the guy who's that guy not get punished, but then the guy on the undercard who did the same thing as him get punished, or vice versa. Everyone should be punished equally.
Yeah, and
But
that and
obviously the fines must be higher depending on how much they get paid and things like that.
yeah, because I tell you that there's been plenty of times where like undercard guys, pop or whatever, and they get hammered. I mean,
Yeah.
they get hammered hard, and then it's like they're out of the ring 2 years or whatever the case may be.
I fought a guy in one time and I stopped him. He was a tough guy. He was tough, and I stopped him. And he later on tested positive for PEDs months later. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he
Mm,
fought me with PEDs and I didn't know. But of course I didn't care because I knocked him out. But
yeah,
obviously, you know,
yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's like, um, it definitely it matters whether you win or not.
it
You
does.
know,
It does.
that person, the level of punishment shouldn't be affected or shouldn't be determined by whether you win or lose with
Nope.
what you were enhanced with. You should get the same punishment either way, because you see it as well.
Exactly.
Guys that lost, like the Viking dude, the one that fought Wilder. I can't remember his name, but he had popped for PEDs as well, and I think he got like 2 years, bro. Like,
Really?
suspended. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so Ryan is out here. He's probably gonna fight again in the spring. Like, no harm, no foul. Golden Boy got, I think, $1 million out of it. And so what happens, man? What happens at that point? I'm interested in hearing what like people got to say about that, because I've heard folks kind of like on both sides of the fence, when it comes to that. And I don't know. People that are tuning in live, the in the comments box is the StreamYard. If you want to come in and tap in and give your comments or questions or whatever on the show, you can, as we're doing this live. So, yeah, I'd be interested in hearing what people got to say about that and their reaction about this lawsuit. And I don't know. There's some folks, being kind of funny about it and saying that Devin Haney's a sucker for it. I don't necessarily agree with that either. You know what I mean? Because he is the one that's risking his life in
I can
there.
see where they're coming from with both sides. The reason
Yeah,
why they call him Devin Haney a sucker is because Devin Haney and his father, they move in a weird type of way.
yeah,
Understand? Devin Haney is not the face of boxing. Uh, but I tell you one thing, Devin Haney has fought top guys. He's put himself through the ringer. He's a gun, bro. He's fighting. He fought a dude that was on PEDs and kept getting up. He could easily stood down. He could easily been knocked out, but he got up. And their excuses, their thing is, if he wasn't on PEDs, this would have totally been a different thing. And it cost him money and future opportunities. I get that, of course. So go get your money. You understand? But the reason why people, it's just, there's like this thing in boxing where it's like favoritisms. You know, some guy's going to be like, nah, Ryan Garcia wasn't on nothing because they're cool with Ryan or they like Ryan and all that stuff. Or they want the clout from him. Because some
yeah,
guys, they act like they like Ryan Garcia. They don't like Ryan Garcia. They just like if they can get on a live with him real quick to gain more followers. It's true, bro. You see the
yeah,
box. There's boxers. There's all type of fighters that get on live with that talk bad about Ryan Garcia. Talk shit. Oh, well, let's fight this and that, and then they'll get on an Instagram live with them and be like, "Yeah, you stupid, bro." And be talking all cool and stuff, and it's like, bro, people who are serious, take it serious and keep that same energy all the way around. These guys that take PEDs need to be punished. And after that, move on. And that's it. So I think Ryan Garcia should be fighting. in spring next year.
Yeah.
Know about that? No, I don't think so. But it's hopefully he does pay for whatever he has to pay for, gets in the gym, focuses up, and does what he has to do naturally. You understand? Now, if he does VADA and wins a fight in great fashion, guess what? You back and you on top now. You understand? Because you're Ryan Garcia. You have a good name. You understand? But that doesn't exclude what you did in the past.
Yeah, it's funny because Andre Ward had interviewed Devin Haney for I think it was like All the Smoke podcast, and Andre Ward was like, he is leaning towards a little of Ryan really using it to lose weight because they said he was about 15 pounds overweight
That
on
could have
fight
been. I
week.
seen it as well. I seen that, and listen, that could have been the case as well. We don't know, but when it comes to any of those things, they enhance performance no matter what. You're trying to lose weight, you couldn't lose the weight. It still enhances your performance. There's guys they take PEDs. People think PEDs just get you super strong. No, there's PEDs. There's different types and of taking these enhancements. There's one to make you super strong, knock guys out brutally, some to make you super fast. There's some this is big. The one that takes down all the inflammation in your body and it helps you to breathe better. So that means you've gotten unlimited stamina the whole fight. You
Mm.
know what that does? Can you imagine Canelo fighting without getting tired? Imagine Canelo fighting without getting tired. That is big time. Or imagine, well, Cepeda never did nothing, but imagine William Cepeda fighting and not getting tired, which he does fight like that. But still, imagine that. Like that's not something to play with. You understand? So that helps guys big time. They can take a shot. They can recover better. The recovery, it's huge, man. PEDs come in all different type of fashions. So got to be aware of that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. And listen, we're gonna go from PEDs to rants. Chris Eubank Jr. Right?
I like Chris
Uh,
Eubank.
oh man, so he was at the press conference because obviously he's got a fight on the Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol undisputed light heavyweight title fight on October 12th. And when he was given the opportunity to talk, he went on this rant calling Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren scumbags, and he just kept on with the scumbag stuff. And Frank Warren was fuming in the background, and he was trying to like, what are you talking about? This, and that, third. And Eubank went in there, kept with the scumbag stuff, said that Ben Shalom is a good guy because he's signed to Ben Shalom now from Boxer, and yeah, so that got super heated. Then later on, he ended up apologizing for it. Um, do you think that that was part of the show, or do you feel like he's been waiting to do that for a long time?
He's been waiting, bro. He's been waiting. Trust me, he's been waiting. He's been waiting when he has the that weight on him that he's good financially, he's good and everything. In order for him to say those things, then somebody say, "Hey, guy, uh, you's gonna get this much this fight. That cannot happen if you keep talking like this because it might block some things." So of course he's gonna apologize. Who's not gonna apologize?
Yeah,
But for him to do that, hey, he says how he feels. He says how he wanted to say it, and that's it. Because guess what? You get screwed. You get screwed. There is slave contracts. There's a lot of contracts. Not saying Frank Warren did that. Not saying Eddie Hearns did that. I don't know. It's none of my business. But there's been guys that they get screwed with contracts, and they're not going to say nothing because they just don't want to get murdered and blackballed. But Eubank didn't feel that way. Eubank just came out and said whatever he wanted to say. And shout out to a guy that said what was on his mind, because a lot of guys aren't saying what was on their mind. Maybe certain things would change in boxing if some guys would say what's on their mind, but you know, the powers are watching.
Yeah, and I tell you that the reason he was one of the reasons that I feel he felt comfortable enough to do that
Turk,
is because of Turkey, right? He probably has a comfortable enough relationship with Turkey to where and Turkey is the financier of all this, right? That he can be like, you know what, if I go on this rant and talk my talk, they ain't gonna say nothing because at the end of the day, they got to get the check from the guy that I'm cool with.
yeah. At the end of the day, they gotta hold this guy's hand.
Literally.
You think he want to do that? He don't want to be doing it. He an old grown man. Oh man,
Yeah, and it's funny when you talk about that. I be seeing like Turkey say some stuff, and Eddie Hearn, he be looking so awkward. Like he turns red, and he's like hoping to say the right things, and it's like you could tell that he is 100% not wanting to say the things that he's saying, but knows that he has to because it's business and he needs to make that money.
it's hard when when you've been in a position almost your whole career as far as being a promoter, where you're that guy that's saying what's going on and what's gonna happen and talking the way you want to talk. But when you have to sit back and let somebody who not saying runs it, because everyone runs it together. You can't have you the Turk can't do it without these promoters. Turk can't do it. I mean, he could send the money and this and that, but I get it. But when you have a guy that's there supplying everything and funding big time, then you got to sit back and go. But it is hard for some people to sit back and do that. Um, but shout out to all the promoters that are doing it, because guess what? The fighters are getting money and the fighters are getting paid, and we're seeing some cool events from it. I do believe sooner than later, Canelo Alvarez will be doing business with Turk.
Yeah, when on
When it's right.
Canelo time, on Canelo time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On Canelo time. All right, listen. Talking about Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn last weekend, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. We said some things that ended up kind of playing out true. We talked about how, man, Joshua didn't seem like he was all there during fight week, and he just seemed like there was nobody upstairs. When he walked into the ring, and we even before we start talking fight stuff, when he walked into the ring, the two ring walks, Dubois, and I wrote this on my Sunday convo. Dubois came out like Duran did in the first Sugar Ray fight,
Mm,
lively, had a whole
mm.
bunch of energy. Joshua came out like Sugar Ray, like he saw a ghost. Like he did not
Earl
like did
Crawford.
not like did not want to be there that night. And when he walked into the ring, I was like, bro, there's nobody home. There's nobody home up here. He's out of here. Now, when you saw them come into the ring, did you get that feeling or were you not buying into that? You just felt like they were both focused.
Nah, man. I look at everything, to be honest, man. Shout out to my boy Earl Crawford. Earl didn't look like the way he usually looks, you know what I'm saying? Um, same thing with Joshua and the boy. Have you ever seen there's a guy this when Pernell Whitaker came to fight Julio Cesar Chavez? Pernell Whitaker, if you look at him in the entrance, and you gotta watch it, he is so focused and so dialed in. It's one of the most amazing things to see. And when you got a guy like Sugar Ray Leonard looking out of it and all of that stuff, what takes him to the final bell is just his fighting spirit, that he's in shape. Doesn't help him finish the fight. Doesn't help him give him that power and that strength to just go on. So when you see Anthony Joshua get hurt like that, it's like, oh man, was he on point? Was he ready for that? And then when he finally gets his shot and hurts Dubois, he goes, I'm gonna go all out and get him out of there recklessly when he could have got Dubois out of there, educationally and being smarter about it, but he didn't. He went out. Of course, people say he went out on his sword, on his shield, fighting like a fight. He did, man, but he knows he could have did it in a much more smarter way. Because guess what happened? Andy Ruiz, Joshua one happened. And we talked about this in the previous podcast. If he punches while Anthony Joshua's punching, and Andy Ruiz can happen. And, it happened at the last moment, the last knockdown, which was the knockout. It happened. But I hope to see Anthony Joshua again, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's crazy because and referring back to that Leonard Duran when Leonard said on the 30 for 30 no mas, he said every time he hit me, he hurt me. I feel like that was the case on Saturday night. Every time Dubois landed a punch, he hurt Joshua. The first left jab that he landed on Joshua, he hurt him. And I was like, wow, like this thing is not. And you know what's crazy is that Dubois kept, if you look, the Dubois was looking a lot to his corner on the first round as the round was happening, because I think that messed up Dubois' head even more. Like he was surprised about the situation, the way it was unfolding himself. And it was almost as he was looking at his corner for reassurance, like, yo, is this really happening? Like, is this am I hurting him every time?
Yeah, so Dubois, he you could tell he really counts on his team and his coaches, man. He really does. And this guy is cool. He's a nice guy, very well spoken, everything. And he is not scared of anybody. He is not scared of anybody. But when he did that, he himself was probably like, "What? Yo, should I go in for the kill? Should I go all out?" Or he didn't know, so he looks to his corner, which is obviously a rookie mistake. He's not a rookie, but obviously a rookie mistake. But hey, he's never been in a situation like that. 96,000 people knocked down Anthony Joshua. He gets up. You're like, oh shit, what do I do? Do I look at my corner? Do I look at him? Do I look at my girl that's all the way in the crowd? What do I do over there? Do I go for the kill? Do I waste all my energy? And then Anthony Joshua knocks me out in the third round. What do I do? He should have waited to. Of course, he when he got to his corner, they told him great instructions from his corner. Great team, man. But stay focused on that. Maybe he could have got Anthony Joshua out there in the, that unsure stuff definitely got in the way of maybe him finishing the fight quicker. Who knows?
Mm.
But Anthony Joshua, man, he gets up, bro, and he fights, man. I give a shout out to anybody that gets up and they fight, bro, and then they want to fight. Anthony Joshua got up. Devin Haney got up. Ryan Garcia, Campbell got up. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the little things that you have to really look at with the guys that get up, all because they get knocked out and stuff, but they got up and they got ready to fight. Amir Khan, Glassjaw, great fighter. He would always get up no matter what. You can knock him out to the fences, boy. He's gonna get up and fight with one leg. He's gonna get up and fight doing the stanky leg and everything, but he's a warrior. And I give a real big shout out to Anthony Joshua. I still do think he should fight um Tyson Fury, but
That's
they
Fury.
will run that back. That boss, they're gonna run it back.
So
They're
yeah,
gonna
so
run
I
it
was
back.
gonna, before I get into that, one last thing about the fight. I thought it was interesting, and people might have not seen this, but Ben Davison was on the top step in the fourth round with the towel in his hand. Now the telecast didn't mention that, obviously, because it was like a DAZN telecast, but he was ready to throw in the towel in the fourth round. And I don't think a whole lot of people caught that. He was on the top step with towel in his hand, ready to call it a fight.
Mm, wow. Then, but it tells you the type of trainer he is. He's caring for his fighter. He doesn't care about another payday. And David said he's trained some really good fighters. Josh Taylor's. He's worked with Tyson Fury. He's a top coach for a reason. But it shows you his character, and you don't really hear bad things about Ben Davidson. And I think he should get a lot more credit than he gets.
Yeah. All right, and then Eddie Hearn was, I guess he was saying something about a rematch clause after the fight, but in all reality, there is no rematch clause.
There's not.
Uh, no, there isn't,
It doesn't
and
matter
so
with Anthony
and
Joshua. He can make anything happen.
that's right. But now Dubois is in the driver's seat, right? He can say, "Nah, Joshua, I'm not rocking with you for the rematch. I'm gonna go. I want to do a fight with Zhilei Zhang, or I want to do a fight with Joseph Parker, or somebody like that, leaving Joshua out in the cold." Do you think they run it back, or do you think that
Absolutely.
you think so?
They run it back immediately. The reason why
Mm.
they run it back immediately is because Dubois knocked him out. Dubois knows he can beat Anthony Joshua, right? That's why he thinks he can beat him again and do it again. But guess what? It's even more tasty. That money Anthony Joshua brings is ridiculous amounts of money. I highly doubt he's going to fight any other fight than a Anthony Joshua rematch. And I can guarantee you, Anthony Joshua wants to smoke again because I think Anthony Joshua in the second fight, Anthony Joshua can come out. He could come out and win because he's really good. He can come out and win and come out a lot more smarter and maybe suppress a lot of the things that Dubois did in the last fight. Who knows?
I don't know if Eddie Hearn feels that he should do the rematch because Eddie
Uh,
Hearn was quick to pivot and was like, "Oh, but Joshua got options, and he's only got one more fight on the Riyadh season contract." Because if I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm thinking, "All right, we take that one last fight on the Riyadh season card, we
Against
fight
Tyson
against
Fury.
no against whoever, right, and then we re up for the four, for four more fights with Riyadh season." And then you do the Dubois somewhere in there because if you lose, then you're still on the contract for three more, or whatever.
This is true. This is true. But the way Anthony Joshua's competitiveness is, he's gonna have to have his people sit down with him and calm him down and go, no, 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 let's do it this way. Because the boy, he wants to go straight to back to Joshua because he won, and then he can get another huge life changing check again. You understand? So the ball is in Anthony Joshua's not him, his team's court
Yeah,
right now because
yeah,
they're gonna choose.
yeah. I mean, and we'll see. We'll see. I mean, whatever happens, it should be interesting. All right. So today we have, or I think it started already. The card we have a fight card at the theater inside the Madison Square Garden,
Yes, sir.
headline headlined by WBO welterweight champion Sandy Ryan as she goes up against Michaela Mayer. Now, on that card is also Xander Zayas versus Damian Sosa, Bruce Carrington versus Suleiman Sagawa. We have an Elvis Rodriguez sighting as well,
Really?
and then we have Tiger Johnson. So I want to start with Tiger Johnson here. He's
Mm.
13. He's 13-0, and he's super lightweight. I don't know. I don't know what happened with Tiger Johnson in the sense of how much they believe Top Rank believes in him because he at one point was like showcased on the beginning of an ESPN telecast and didn't really do as well as I guess people thought he would. And after that, he's been like buried on the undercard, like the first or second fight. And so there was a lot of promise for him, as early as last year,
Good
but it
learning.
just it just kind of like faded away a little bit. The guy that he's fighting today is Puerto Rican Yomar Alamo, right? He beat Jason Velez, and he lost a split decision to now WBA champ Liam Paro. This is Tiger Johnson's third fight this year. He stays busy, but I feel like now with this fight, this is like the barometer one. Like
Hmm.
where are you in your progression? This is I feel like this is the real fight that's gonna test that. And if he doesn't pass that, I don't know if he's with top rank next year.
So what Top Rank does is you got a few shots, bro. You mess up, they're on your ass. You mess up again, you're done. You understand? Top Rank is a great promotional company. They literally give all their fighters get all the promotion, all the time. Like they're a good machine, man. Um, Tiger Johnson, he has to knock this guy out. If he knocks this guy out, he's where he wants to be. If he doesn't knock this guy out and doesn't give the greatest performance, they're going to they might just bring him back just a little bit, or who knows, maybe it doesn't sign. I'm not sure. It's not my business. But Tiger Johnson, he's a really good fighter. I like that guy, respectful kid, real good fighter, sharp and everything. He makes some green mistakes a little bit, but I guess his performances has to start talking. You understand? His performances. You all right? You all right? What you lost? Oh, he muted. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. Abraham has you know he muted himself by mistake. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I do think Tiger Johnson is a really really good fighter.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, sorry about that. My plug disconnected for a second. You
It's
hear
all
me?
good, man. Yeah, but Tiger Johnson, good fighter. He just has to have a spectacular performance. He has to, or else, it's going to be some questions from him. And such as the same thing with Xander Zayas. If he
Yeah,
doesn't
we're
put on
gonna
another, he
hold on. We're
doesn't.
gonna get
Yeah.
to that one. We're gonna get to
Okay.
that one.
Go ahead.
Elvis Rodriguez came in at 142. They recently signed him back from PBC, so he was with Top Rank, made a name for himself, went to PBC, had a couple fights. Now he's back with Top Rank. He's fighting like at 142 ish. I feel like with his placement in the card, that this is going to be if Tiger Johnson wins and Elvis Rodriguez wins, that maybe they put him in with Elvis, and then it's like whoever wins stays, whoever loses goes.
This is true. I've seen it. It happens. Usually it happens like that. They match opponents. I could have fought Elvis Rodriguez, if I would have beaten one of the guys that I fought before. You understand? So it happens like that. It does. And I like the way that you're doing the future matchmaking. You're foreshadowing the matchmaking, eh?
All right. Listen, before we get to Xander, we're gonna go with somebody that you know, Bruce Shushu Carrington. All right, he's gonna be fighting Suleiman Sagawa. Now, Suleiman Sagawa recently beat Ruben Villa, who used to be a world title contender
Yes,
at
very good guy.
at 122, and so very good fighter, very fundamentally sound fighter. But he beat him via split decision on a 10-round fight. Bruce Carrington is coming in with a bunch of confidence. He's another guy that feels like he is on the doorstep of a title shot, whether people agree with that or not. And this fight, I think, is going to really test that to see if he is indeed ready for a title shot, ready for the big names at 126. What do you think about this fight? And does a shushu knockout have to necessarily happen, or if he just dominates for 10 rounds, will that fill in the box?
No, man. Shushu got to go in there and stop this guy. He can't. The reason why I'm gonna tell you guys something. He, a lot of people we love when we see shutouts and beatdowns for unanimous decision. That's great, but it so happens to be that someone as such as Shakur Stevenson has spoiled a lot of people when it comes to, oh man, we don't want to see unanimous decisions no more. We want to see stoppages. We don't want to see these guys coming from Top Rank. They're just going the distance. They don't want to see it. So I think, no disrespect to Shakur, he's a great fighter. I'm just saying what usual people are saying right now, especially the casuals. They don't know boxing, but I think Shushu should go in there, do his thing, be smart, and stop this guy so that he is, because he's not a Ruben Villa. No, he's not. Just Bruce is he is not. He could fight. He's been fighting since he was young. Good kid, good family, great father. Hungry right now. and he should just stay with that same energy, bringing it to the ring, but be smart. Don't get caught. That's it. That's all I want to see from Shushu is be smart, stop this guy. Don't get caught with nothing because guess what? The way Top Rank drops people, they drop anybody. And us New York fighters, they get dropped faster because of, reputations and all of it. So I see Shushu though coming out with a stoppage this time. He looks really good.
Okay. All right. And then the co-main is Puerto Rican Xander, real Puerto Rican, Xander Zayas versus Damian Sosa. Now, Damian Sosa recently beat another Puerto Rican, Marcus Valle, in April via split decision. And Valle was an up and coming prospect and handed him his first loss. Xander is in a weird place right now because I
Nah,
feel
he's
like
above a fight like this though.
I don't know. And this is why I say that because I feel like that he feels that he's ready for a title shot now or a big name right now. I'm not so sure about that.
Not that.
Um the Teixeira fight for me was a little bit of a head scratcher because he didn't make any adjustments in the ring and he was doing the same thing over and over again, was getting frustrated that what he was doing wasn't working against a former world champion. I when I spoke to him and I posted the video on my YouTube channel, Abe G Boxing, I told him, I said, listen, the fans of MSG, like they were waiting to crown you the next Puerto Rican guy that night. Like that night, they were waiting to do that. And when they left the building, they was like, man, that wasn't it. That wasn't the moment. And when I told him that, he was visibly irritated and wasn't trying to really hear it.
Yeah, 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 of course.
And I understand that. But at the same time, you gotta you gotta look outside of your bubble, bro. You know what I mean? Like your bubble could be small enough to where you're not allowing for reality to settle in.
Yes.
And if he doesn't, I mean, he's a huge favorite against Damian Sosa. But Damian Sosa, if this is if you're saying, if what you're saying is true, that he's above fighting these type of guys, then he should stop this
Wipe.
guy.
He should wipe Damian Sosa out. You
If
understand?
he goes 10 rounds with Damian Sosa, then he is not ready for a title shot.
I
Um,
honestly think even if he wipes out Damian Sosa, I don't think he's ready for a title shot right now. Who's the champions in his division?
some killers.
Okay. Can you name them? Can you name them?
Yeah, yeah. You got Fundora, you got
Okay.
Terrence Crawford,
Okay.
um, and you got the winner of Shishkin and Skull here in a couple weeks.
Okay. That's three. There's no fourth one.
No, no, because Fundura's got two titles.
Yes. Yes, that's right. So yeah, that's like saying from put the zoo with Xander's eyes. So
Whoa,
we gotta see what's going on. What are we doing over here?
that's what I'm saying.
We gotta we I believe Xander's a really good. He's not. I don't think he's ready for a title, not yet. I say maybe two fights and depending on his performances, if he wipes this dude out, next fight he wipes out, he's ready, bro. Put him in there. He's young. He's fresh. He's ready to do his thing. But the scary part is if he's not ready, you start getting dropped. Not physically in the fight. I'm talking about start getting dropped on the cards. You start going from main event to co-main event, from co-main event to undercard. Then you'll be team prelim, like the guy's been saying, and all that stuff. So he has to put on a great performance. Charming kid, marketable and everything, but he's got to put on a great performance and he's got to really his team has to be real with him and say, "Hey, you need to perform this way." Not just be satisfied with just getting a W and then you'll get a title shot no matter what. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to perform because when you perform, it's gonna put butts in the seats. Ryan Garcia didn't have to perform because guess what? He got a million followers, millions of followers on Instagram. But guess what? When he was knocking guys out that quick, that was performance and fans.
and
So
and and I just wanted to make a correction. It wasn't the skull situation. That's at super middleweight. For junior middleweight, right now, it's the Bakram Murtazalev versus Tim Zoo. They're gonna fight for the
yes, yes, yes,
IBF,
yes, 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 yes,
and
yes.
then Fundura's got the WBO. Crawford's got the WBA, and then Fundura's got the WBC. So obviously Crawford has an interim in there and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, and that's
Earl's fighting from the
yes, supposedly like sometime in January is what I'm
put
hearing.
that face, man. Don't put that
Yeah,
face.
I don't know. Like, I mean, the thing is that they were supposed to fight in October, then they were supposed to fight in December. Now they're talking about they're fighting in January. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. Um, and speaking of that, like this is gonna be if it ends up being January. This is the second year in a row where Fundora fights once a year.
Once a year. Okay. Fundura's the type of guy he has to stay active. You understand? His style, he needs to be active. He's a punch. He's a volume puncher. You understand? He has to be in the gym, keeping his body in condition, which I'm sure he is. His father's great. His team, he has a great team. His sister's a fighter as well. So these people, they stay in the gym and all of that. But the fighting is different from the gym. I was the guy, always in the gym, always. But guess what? If I fought 3 times or 5 times a year, I was smoking guys. I would blow right through them. I would do great performances and everything. If I'm fighting twice a year or once a year, I'm not because you have to shake off the rust every fight. Every guy's different, but depending on your style, you have to shake off the rust every fight, and then the cycle just continues and continues. So Fedor's the type of guy he has to stay active, man.
Yeah,
Um, would he do well against an Earl Spence? I don't know. He should because he's been more active, and Earl Spence is coming off a loss and hasn't been in the ring or the gym in a very long time. But Earl Spence is a different caliber fighter, though. He's a he's a different type of fighter, and I believe when his confidence and everything comes back, the only question is who's his trainer. Um, yeah, hopefully he works with Earl. I mean, Earl works with Breadman. That would be a good fit for him. You
hmm
got other couple guys that are really good fits as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
yeah. And then circling back with Xander, one thing that I
Yeah.
suggested in the last podcast was that him and Josh Kelly are fighting September. Josh Kelly fought last weekend on the Joshua card. Josh Kelly won, but he looked not that great. In the WBO, it's Tim Zoo, Josh Kelly, then Xander Zayas.
So throw them in together. They have to fight each other
Yeah,
then. Just put them
that's
in
the
together. That's just
yeah
what it
that
is.
I'm
Why not?
thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking that if Xander wins impressively tonight, then you do Xander versus Josh Kelly in December.
Hmm. And
I
hey,
mean,
that's a good fight. That's what that would be. They would consider on BoxRec maybe a 4 or 5 star fight. You
yeah,
could put that there.
and that's
Um,
I would say that's a title eliminator type fight.
that's a good fight. Josh Kelly, he revived his career. He came back and he's starting to do his thing. Well, he is doing his thing. And Xander, he's up and coming. So that's definitely a title eliminator. And the winner should fight Tszyu.
Yeah, or
Saying
whoever.
Tszyu wins. Saying Tszyu
Yeah,
wins.
or, I mean, or Fundura or
Leave
Crawford.
Fedora alone. And leave Crawford alone, everybody.
I
Those
saw I saw something about Xander talking about wanting to fight Virgil Ortiz.
Okay, now Virgil Ortiz, we didn't mention him. He's a monster hitter, really good fighter. His last fight was a tough fighter and everything like that. But guess what? It just shows you who he is. Um, I do think Virgil Ortiz is a better fighter than Xander. But what I do think about Xander is Xander has more energy as far as he's more just he's moving a lot more, and that can trouble Virgil Ortiz until Virgil Ortiz lands something. But I see a lot of good things in both these fighters. So throw Virgil Ortiz in there, man. I guarantee you, Golden Boy's gonna look to get Virgil Ortiz a title shot immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then listen. And one thing I did ask him, I was,
Throw Erickson Lubison in there, man. If he's still fighting at
yeah,
154.
but Erickson Lubin is like, he was supposed to fight Zoo twice, and the first time it was that he had injured himself, and the second time was that he didn't have enough time to prepare, according to him.
Man, Lubin fight, bro. He fight to the death. Like that guy,
Yeah,
man.
but
But he just got to get himself moving. That's all. Yeah.
yeah, no kidding. I did ask Xander on how he felt being the co-main on a card at the Garden after being the main event 3 months before that. He kind of deflected a little bit, gave the, yeah, my sis is fighting on the main event, blah blah blah,
No,
and
no, no,
no.
no, no, no. Shout out to Michaela.
Yeah,
Michaela's a great lady. She's a great fighter. She's really good. All of it, right? But Xander himself, after his last performance, he should have wiped out, and then he could have headlined again, just like they was doing with Edgar. Except obviously Edgar wasn't. Xander's not packing the arena as Edgar was. But yeah, man, you gotta want your spot, bro. You gotta say, I know, I'm the co-main event this time, but this time I want to put on a performance where I will, and they will have no choice but to put me as the main event next time. Not, I said okay, yeah, my sister. Come on, man. We gotta be politically correct, but at the same time, want your spot, bro. The window's short. Want your spot, go get your spot, man. And shout out to Michaela. I hope she does well today.
yeah, and we're gonna talk about that. We got a question from Larry Liston.
Larry,
And I'm gonna put this to you, Zach. We should probably just call this the let's the Zach chat, the Zach chat portion of the show. How far do you guys see Xander going at 154? You think he's gonna get a world title? It's a great question. What do you think?
no.
Mm, too much
I'm just
talent?
gonna I'm just gonna be completely honest, no. And I'm not saying it because of his talent, because of his work ethic or anything like that. I just see too many killers at 154. Now the day Xander gets into a dog fight, let's say he fights Erickson Lubison, just saying, and he goes to war with Erickson Lubison for 12 rounds, and he drops Erickson Lubison in the 10th round, but then wins the unanimous decision. Xander's ready. You feel me? He's ready then. You understand? But these guys, they've been in there all with each other, man. Fedora, Lubin, Tazoo, all these guys mixing up. Leave Crawford out of that. Crawford's in a whole nother realm. You understand? So in this moment, right now, I don't see him getting a world title. But unless so a champion, not saying there are weak champions, but they're champions for a reason. But then Xander could capitalize on that and get his opportunity.
And I tell you, I saw him at the weigh-ins, and for the first time when seeing him, it felt like the weight cut this time was just a little bit harder. And I'm wondering if he won't be able to stick around long enough for a title shot at 154. That
At
where he would have
160,
to,
you think
he'd
he'll
have to
definitely
go
go
to,
to 160?
because 160 is a weak division, bro.
It's a weak division. Okay, who's at 160?
Aries Landy Lara,
Okay.
um, Quasi Style, Janabek, who's with Top Rank,
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Carlos
Do you
Adames.
do you see Xander's eyes beating us Janabek?
No. Um, I would love to see
Don't.
Xander Zayas
I don't want
versus
nobody to confuse weak with unknown though, or not popular.
yeah, but I mean, Janabek is a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but like that division, like it doesn't have a whole lot of
It's not
contenders in there.
sparking.
Like,
It's not
yeah,
sparking. It's not
no. And
sparking.
and I would love to see Xander versus Carlos Adames. Now that
What?
would be a fight.
That would be cool. Yeah, but damn, Adamas, it's real good. It's a good
Yeah.
fight, man. Not okay. Put Xander in with Adamas. That's a good fight.
And
And
let me
then
tell you, you
and
do that
then
in you do that in New York or in Puerto Rico.
oh, Dominican versus Puerto Ricans. Forget about it. You got Mofongo versus Mangu. You straight, man. You good. But listen,
Bro.
Crawford's gonna fight once or twice more. Then he's moving up to. Let me spill the beans. Then he's gonna move up to 160, get a title, and then he's gonna retire.
Hmm.
I just told you exactly how it is. So when you guys come back to it, you'll see what I said. He's gonna
Hmm.
fight twice more at 154 to prove that he's legit. Move up to 160, get a belt, and he's going to retire and do a whole interviews and podcasts and all these things. You'll see.
Okay. All right. And then so Larry Liston put in here, Xander needs that
That's
firefight
what I just said.
to carry him over as a big Puerto Rican star to the mainstream audience. I think Sosa might be the right opponent. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think that Sosa might be the right opponent. Uh, but again, it could be the right opponent or the wrong opponent because if he ends up being in a firefight and does not do what he's supposed to do
Yeah, yeah.
against the Sosa, now now you start to wonder like is
Start
you know
damaging his mental.
uh-huh 100%. But I feel
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like Xander. We're gonna see a more aggressive Xander tonight.
And I would love to see that because he's got all the tools to do it.
Yeah. All right. And then the main event, you got WBO welterweight champion Sandy Ryan against Michaela Mayer. Um, it's interesting with Michaela Mayer because she's kind of blown through a few weight classes, and after being I think at featherweight or super featherweight for a while, and um, it's almost like she's just kind of searching for wherever the good fight is. Didn't get the win against Jonas over in Natasha Jonas in the UK.
Good fight.
Now, yeah, that was a good fight. Now is getting this fight against Sandy Ryan, who Sandy Ryan is no pushover now. Um, should be a good fight. I know people that were Sandy Ryan was working at the Brick House Gym in LA for this training camp. So she definitely got some good work in
Mm.
LA. Against Michaela Mayer, there was some controversy about Kay Karama and Kay Karama, and which is a trainer for Michaela Mayer for a while, but then he went to work with Sandy Ryan and all this.
Wow. Okay.
There was a whole bunch of politics or BS about that. But where do, where does Michaela Mayer stand? Like, if can she afford another loss, or is this a situation where it's a must win for her?
Okay. It's both, man. I think when it comes to all right, I don't want to compare it, but the women's division reminds me of the UFC in a way, the only way is in a way where a fighter could lose and they can still come back and get a big fight and do their thing. So Michaela, she can lose, but she'll still get another big fight. She'll still be headlining, no, not head, maybe not headlining and stuff, but she'll get big fights as well because it's such little competition and such big names in such little big names in women's boxing that they have to put her in order to make that good money. But in the boxing tip, she gotta win. She better win and take that title. Very important.
And let me ask you this in regards to Top Rank, because Top Rank don't have a lot of women fighters. I think it's
They
her
don't.
and Sanicia, and
They don't.
that's
But
it.
guess what? Something about Michaela. She's a marketable young woman. She can fight. She actually can fight, and she's very nice and respectful. So that goes a long way, and that's why they still got her.
But when does that run out, though?
When she gets blasted, or yeah, if
Yeah,
somebody knocks her out cold, yeah. But if she
yeah,
loses a tough decision, they're not going to get rid of her that easy. They
yeah,
got money to make.
yeah,
Sanusa's the best.
yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, listing through another comment. Well, first of all, Larry, we appreciate the comments that you throwing in here and the
Thank you,
questions and
bro.
stuff. He said, by the way, shout out to Floyd Diaz, always entertaining, great style. Still remember him from the Floyd 24/7 series, doing mid work as a kid, hoping he pulls through.
Or
Yeah,
Diaz. I remember that kid from the 24/7 All Accesses. Listen, his name is Cash Flow, I believe, right?
I think so.
And
I'm gonna look him up.
what is his record up right now?
Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna look him up right now. Um, he's 12-0, 3 KOs. Yeah, cash flow.
Okay. Um, what weight is this?
It's bantam.
Bantamweight. Okay.
Good
So is
division.
he with if he with is he with like a Mayweather Promotions or something like that?
I don't know. I think he's with Top Rank, or it might be a situation where he's
Just floating around?
just floating around, kind of maybe trying to
Okay,
secure
so
something.
yeah, so he's a guy that he's a kid that he's good. He was around Floyd and everything. He's got some people that know. He's got people that know in the boxing world knows who he is and stuff like that. So let him get three more fights where he fights for because these guys at bantamweight they fight, bro. They fight straight
Yeah.
out. After 6 fights, depending if you're knocking guys out. So let him get a couple more knockouts, and he could get a good money fight. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
He can make some money for himself. And hey, who knows? These are the times where, well, you'll say maybe in like a couple years, yo, we want to talk about Floyd Diaz. Yo, he's world champion now. He just won that belt, the bantam. He got the opportunity. He beat a guy that wasn't as good as him. Anything can happen in boxing.
yeah. So
Jay
he's on the
Prince?
J
Oh,
Prince. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. But with the bantamweights,
What?
he's gonna have to go to Japan if he wants that work. Outside of Junto
Yeah.
Nakatani, right? And
Oh, yeah.
it depends. I think when Floyd Diaz, if he gets to the point where he's ready, Junto will probably be up already, and then we'll be at 122, and then he'll fight for a vacant belt or something at the WBO. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of good kids in the bantamweight division, a lot of good champions. The Japanese are running the bantamweight division right
They're
now.
killing it. They have a
Yeah.
food. They have a remedy. It's ridiculous the way they lose weight. I should stop talking. They do good. They're very good.
Yeah, man. And again, if anybody wants to drop any questions on the comments, go ahead and do that. There's also the link on the StreamYard up top. If you want to call in, you don't have to show your face. You can call in, ask a question, throw a comment on whatever it is that we talked about throughout the show. Zach, we're heading into the cold season, right? And college football and World Series baseball and all that is starting to really dominate the airwaves and the TV. Um, we're seeing a lot more fights on Fridays, to kind of avoid the big college football games and all that. I feel like the next big Saturday fight is the Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol fight, and then you got David Benavidez maybe fighting in December, maybe fighting in January. I'm hearing more so January than December. Um, he might. I know that somebody put out there that he's going to fight. I can't remember his name, but
Dave Morrell.
uh, no, no, no. They said that he was going to fight somebody else, but I'm hearing that the David Morrell fight is still in play. Like that's still
I like David
that.
Morrell. I like him. Like
Yeah,
him.
but
Like
but
that
that's the.
guy.
I like that fight. That fight
That
is
fight is a good fight. I
yes,
think they both should fight one more time, then fight each other just to make it a little more bigger. But if they can go right now, just go right now.
yeah,
I like David Morrell, man. I want him to be a star. I
yeah,
want him to be a star. Dave Benavidez is a star right now.
yeah, and they're both at 175. Um, David Morrell may have looked a little less impressive than
Because he moved
Benavidez at
up. It
at
moved up.
175. Yeah, they both moved up.
People can take more resistance on the punches now.
Hmm.
So you got to take all that into factor. So do I think they fight? I don't know. I don't think so. But I would love to see them fight though. Big time.
I think me personally, I think. Oh, yeah. So Larry, that's the fighter that I was talking about. Jesse Hart. Um, the situ-
Oh,
this is
Jesse
this is
Hart.
what this is what I would say
Wow,
to that.
Jesse Hart.
The situation
Good
is
guy.
is not solid. Um, there are different things going on in the background, and uh, Jesse Hart isn't for sure the guy that he's gonna face. Let's just put it that way. And I know that to be true because I know that to be true.
I like the way
So
you put that.
yeah, yeah. So we may very well get the Benavidez David Morrell next, and if we do, oof, I'll be ready for that.
That's good fight, man.
I'll be
That's a
ready
good
for
fight.
that. Because initially they talked about Benavidez fighting Jesse Hart as a co-main to Tank versus what was rumored Lamont Roach, which I spoke to some folks and they said that the Lamont Roach fight wasn't a done deal. And those rumors were false about him fighting Tank. But that's just one of those things, right?
You
If they
want to
did
see?
the
Yeah.
if they did that fight, in DC, probably be a big DC, kind of fight because Roach trains and is from out there, and then Tank being in Maryland, forget about that. They'd have to do that at like the Wizards arena or something
Not
like
the,
that.
they
So
can't do that at the DC Armory.
no, 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 no. Tank is past that.
It's
Tank
fast.
is Tank is past that. Um,
You want to get a good card ready for this? It's not gonna happen. But this is a great card. Ready? Just the two. I'm just gonna say main event, co-main event. That's it. I don't got time for all this stuff. Canelo versus Jamal Charlo. As a matter of fact, I might say three. Canelo main event. Jamal Charlo. Benavidez versus David Morrell. Caleb Plant versus Berlanga.
mm,
Three.
mm,
Knock it down. Winner faces everybody face each other.
mm.
It's a good card.
It is,
It's a
but
possible card too.
it is possible if the Turk is willing to pay for it.
Well, Turk, the Turk can do it.
uh, Larry said, wasn't they talking about Tank fighting Edwin De Los Santos too?
I never heard that. I
Um,
didn't hear that really too much.
I
Not
didn't
too
hear
much.
that one too much. I heard more so Lamont Rose Jr. and Rayo as options.
Ryo is most likely going to be running it back. So you know, I think he's got a couple names, Javante, that he can go and fight and everything like that. It might just be a random name out of nowhere, and we'll be like, oh, you know what I'm saying. But no matter who Javante Davis fights, people will be tuning in.
Yeah, yeah, and as we, and I was gonna ask you earlier, um, for that Joshua Dubois, do you run that back on as a co-main for Fury Usyk
Oh,
too?
no.
No,
You can't run. The thing is this: you can't put Anthony Joshua as a co-main. Anthony
yeah, you
Joshua
can.
it will never be a co-main ever in his life, ever.
But it's not
Um,
really. It really wouldn't be
no, it's a
a.
co-main. It's a co-main. Why seeking? Why fit 100,000 in seats? Make money with everybody in one night instead of make tons of money with Tyson Fury versus Usyk, and then on another night make even more tons of money with Anthony Joshua Dubois. Bro,
Well,
keep the bet.
because
Go ahead.
I tell you,
Oh
the
man.
December 21st Riyadh season card is gonna be like the biggest event for them out there. It's gonna be a spectacle, and mind you, these guys are paying probably anywhere between 20 to 30,000 a seat, on that on that floor level, right? And so they're
Well,
gonna make the money. You know what I mean? Either way. Let me see. And oh yeah, I heard about that. Larry said they said the same about Wilder though. Oh, he
yeah,
said
you're absolutely right. But Wilder's not packing 90,000 people in the stadium by himself. So that's my argument to that right there.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I think that they'll consider it, and Turkey's got the money to make it happen, man. He got the juice to make it loose,
Yeah.
and he'll make it happen. He'll make it happen. Outside of that, is there anything that can happen towards the end of the year that will maybe sway you into thinking that this year was a premier year for boxing?
Not really, man. No, not really. It was more of like a it was more like a organizing year for boxing. They're organizing things for 2025. It's gonna be a shit. It's gonna be crazy. 2025, I feel. 2023, great year of boxing. 22, great year of boxing. Even the COVID season, there was great fights. But this year was more of a structural with the Turk coming in as well. So I see 25 becoming a bigger year. Yeah, unless you just
Mm.
randomly throw Inoue versus Baron Rodriguez, but that's not happening right now.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throw it in for Christmas.
You know what? I got thoughts about that. Now that you bring that up,
What are your thoughts?
I I think that Junto Nakatani is the guy that beats in a way.
No,
No,
no, man. Nope. Nobody's beating him. Nobody beats Inoue right now.
bro. I don't know. Like Junto from the southpaw stands and that long jab. Ooh, he's a beast, man.
You got to have a good hook to go with Inoue. Good hook, good time to get that.
Yeah, but I think that his good jab and his footwork and being able to keep that distance might be enough to give him a 12-round decision.
And what weight is this fight? What weight is Inoue fighting at right now?
122. And Junto's at 118.
Okay. Inoue is trying to look to become the greatest Asian fighter that has ever been. That's what he's trying to do. Exclude Pacquiao because Pacquiao, he's in a whole another planet himself. Literally one of the greatest ever. Pacquiao,
Yeah. Yeah,
to be honest,
absolutely.
he's a G. Yeah, he's a goat. Seriously, all time great as well. But I don't know, man. To beat Inoue, you're gonna have to be special. And you're gonna have to be on that night. You're gonna have to be all, bro. All, man. Ugh. I don't know. I don't see it right now, man. Tekken, Tekken, Tekken.
Yeah. Let's see. Larry said only guy beating Inoue is Rafael Espinoza. Yo, Rafael Espinoza beats a lot of guys. I think that's why they're keeping him away from folks. You know, Shushu would I think Shushu would have a lot of problems with a guy like Espinoza, man. Um,
Put Espinosa in there.
ooh,
Put
yeah.
him in there. Let's see what
Mm,
happens.
mm. It's a
All
tough
right,
fight.
Shishu beats this guy, then put him in Espinosa.
Oh. I think that if Shushu beats this guy convincingly, you put him against Robisi Ramirez.
That's such a good fight, man.
Yeah.
No, it's a good fight. You're right because they're both they fought on the Olympic stage and stuff like that. It makes sense. Does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that fight a lot. And
yeah.
shout out to we're at 68 watching live with us right now. We appreciate you guys joining
Thank
us
you guys. Thank you guys. On a Friday.
on a
On a
Friday.
Friday. Thank you. I know all you guys could be out right now doing your thing, but you're watching
and
us.
just as an alert, Alicia Bumgarner is fighting actually tonight.
She is.
She's fighting on Brinks TV, but it's also available on Amazon Prime Video. And you could start streaming it now.
It's
And
cleanup
I
time for her. That's
and
what
I
this
think
is.
and I think it's on Tubi as well. Interesting part is that she's fighting in a state of the art digital 3D venue, a 360 degree digital venue where there's only 250 seats.
Okay.
It's a tuxedo black tie affair. Basically, anybody that has dough is gonna. It's almost like the old school. I don't know if you remember the Jean Claude Van Damme movie Lionheart when he was fighting in those. There was like a bunch of rich people organizing like
I've been in those.
illegal fights and stuff.
I've been in those. New York,
It's
underground, in Chinatown. Walking there, you go to
yeah,
the you go.
that's what she's fighting essentially. Only 250 people there. I don't think they're allowing media in there.
That's
Um,
fine. I
yeah,
think this is fine for her. Come back, low profile fight, nothing crazy. Get a win on your record, a clean one, you know. and get back in the mix of I won my fight. I'm a clean fighter and all these things. Get back in the mix. I think she's a really good fighter. She has good potential. Those tests came back. Pay for what you got to pay for. You pay for your mistakes, whatever you did, all of it. Guess what? She's back. She's fighting. She's good. She's got talent. She's got skills. She's got a mouth. She's got a mouth. And so all she has to do is get another win, and she's up on.
Yeah, you know what I find it interesting though is that I didn't see any announcement of her fight being on Nevada.
Well, that's a totally different thing. I thought she's gonna want to, if she did do something, right? I thought she's gonna want to try and do something again, but that's not. And Vada wouldn't be coming on a low profile fight like this. I'm not sure unless they, you
She's
know.
defending the titles though. You know,
Okay.
according to the rules of the WBC, if you're defending a title, you're required.
Okay. I'm sorry, my mistake.
No, no, no. But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
testing thing.
I say it sarcastically because the WBC doesn't always like to follow their own rules.
Well, I think they'll test her.
Yeah.
They got a guy named Victor. He's a really good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Junto. Speaking of Junto, he's fighting here soon. Kosi Tanaka's fighting. Like the Japanese man, they got some really good fighters coming up and that are champions right now. I feel like though some of them that have been putting in that work for so long, it's almost like they have the Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez effect, where people don't catch on to them until they're like at the end of their career. You know what I mean?
No, this is true. And the reason why Inoue is so up there right now is because they're promoting him very well. And they're promoting him all over the world, you know. Just if he fights just one time in America, he's up. He's up and on. Yeah.
I mean, and he has. I think that his time they're bringing him to, according to Bob Arum, they're gonna bring him to Vegas in the spring, in a way.
Okay.
And they're making it like I guess they're gonna make it like an all Japanese show of some sort.
Okay.
Um, and they're gonna potentially have Junto as the co-main to try to set up Junto versus Inoue in Japan like later in the year.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Larry says I like Cobra versus Salcido fight on Pro Box. Didn't Cobra duck you a couple of times? But anyway, I know it ain't
Who's
the biggest
Salcido? Which
name.
Salcido?
But I like Cobra, good East Coast fighter. Hoping he can get the W. Cobra did a little
Who's
duck job
Salcido?
on.
Who's Salcido? Which
Let me
Salcido?
see. I'll tell you right now because I'll pull it up right now. But yeah, Zach, tell them all about that.
There's nothing to really say, man. The kid, he don't be. He just want to fight to get, his little money, and that's it. But that's running out, or ran out already. So that's what happens. I don't really talk. I can't talk bad about guys. Guys have talked bad about me. I remember after one of my fights, after one of my last fights, uh, you know, that the same guy, who was Chris. Yeah, he posted. Somebody sent me something. Yo, he posted that you got knocked out, and like, it's cool, man. I mean, what am I gonna say? And then when he got knocked out, I ain't post nothing. Like
Yeah,
I would have, how I would have been. Yo, look, now you. I don't, bro. It's boxing. We both
yeah,
get in the ring to put our life on the line, to feed our families, to get back where we're that warrior spirit, to fight again, to be on top again and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna make fun of him for getting knocked out, because hey, you tried and you did it. I gotta be the bigger man, or I can be, worse man. But who
yeah.
knows? Right.
He's fighting Omar Salcido, who's 19-1, 13 KOs, Mexican. And let me see who did
Sounds
it.
familiar. Sounds familiar, that guy.
I'm trying to see who he fought that you might recognize. Um,
Sounds
he
familiar. I think I know him.
he fought Luis Coria. Nothing. No one stands out here as far as Jose. He lost against Jose Nunez. Yeah, he hasn't really fought too big of a
He has
names,
how many
but
knockouts?
hold on, just wait a minute. Sorry, I think it was. Let me get back there. He's got 13 knockouts.
Well, whoever wins wins.
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
hope those
Chris
guys do their
Colbert.
thing and put on a great performance for the crowd over there in Florida because they got a really nice little crowd over there in Florida. I hope they put on a good, some good and entertaining fights right there.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so let's see how all this plays out tonight. It's going to be very interesting. The top ranked card is on ESPN, the actual linear channel, and you could also stream it on ESPN Plus.
Yep.
The undercards are going on right now on ESPN Plus. You can watch the Bumgarner fight on Amazon Prime Video and on Tubi, I believe, and on Brinks TV. Marine Captain Stephanie Simon is making her pro debut on the Bumgarner car, so shout out to her. And yeah, this the only other fight. There's a fight tomorrow, Matchroom card, kind of club show ish, but they're doing a women's title fight tomorrow. Believe it or not.
Hey,
So there's a bunch of women title fights this weekend. Let me see, who is it that they got? It's Terry Harper against it's Rihanna Dixon versus Terry Harper. Rihanna Dixon being the WBO lightweight champion, and so they're gonna be fighting on the zone tomorrow afternoon
nice.
on our time. Let me see, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific is when the card comes. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for the main event, roughly walkthrough. So they got some decent fights on there. Peter McGrail versus Brad Foster on the super bantamweights. So I mean they've got some Galia fights supposed to be fighting on there. So they have some a couple good fights there, but it's going to be another Saturday evening really that doesn't have any boxing on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
That's
then
how that's how it is right for right now.
for right now, right? Everybody's taking a breather, and I'm gonna see. Um, Let me see for next weekend, which is going to be October. Let me see.
Next week's October already. What's going on over here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Oh, so next week is the Janabek fight against
I like Janibek.
yeah, against Mikalovich.
I think
Um,
Janibek should get a big fight soon. He deserves a
yeah,
big fight. He has a great
he
team as
he he
well. He has a
does
really
he
good team
does,
of
but
people.
he just seems like he just can't. And next week's fight is on that Janabek fight is on a Friday. It looks like October 4th, and then Nick Ball's fighting Ronnie Rios October 5th, which is that next day. Let me see if there's anybody on that card that
Good
might
fight,
know of.
Ronnie Rios.
Yeah, yeah. For Nick Ball's WBA featherweight title. So yeah, so it's gonna be kind of a light weekend next 2 weeks, and then you that's when we get into the Better BF Bivol on the 12th. And then let's see the Kenshiro fight on the 13th, Junto on the 14th, uh, Tim Zhu on the 19th, Jack Catterall versus Regis Prograis on the 26th, and that sums up the October, man.
Oh, I feel like when it's like this, there's going to be bigger and major announcements coming. So don't sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what's
trust me.
up. All right, man. Well, listen, we're gonna probably wrap this up. We've gone for about 90 minutes here. Shout out to the 70 folks that have been on live with us, that are on live with us right now. We appreciate you guys. We
Thank you,
came a little
guys.
we came a little later than normal, but we like to come on Friday afternoons, right around 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So look for us around that time, and then we kind of go from there. We got another question from Larry here for Zach. You're my Alamo doing good work right now against Delonte Johnson. Oh, we were just talking about that on Top Rank. Did Zach ever spar Alamo?
No, no, I never spot that guy. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Eh,
spot him.
you ever spend time with Tiger Johnson in the gym?
No, I've seen him before, but I've never spent a real good time with him in the gym. He wasn't really around like the place where I was and stuff like that. But I've seen him many times before. He went from a short kid to like a tall, skinny kid out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy because if Yomar Alamo continues to work Tiger Johnson, then we could be talking about what we were talking about earlier, right?
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
So interesting situation. But listen, I think we're gonna sign out here. Uh, Zach, I appreciate your time as always. We appreciate the folks, the folks that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, maybe after if you like. If you want to check out the show and some of the earlier comments, we appreciate you guys. And until the next time, peace.
Peace.